Thank you. We've got on the line right now a very talented young actor from the ABC Original Family series. Did I say the ABC Family Original series? I must have gotten that mixed up. Pretty Little Liars. We've got an English teacher who falls in love with one of his students, Aria Montgomery. And Ezra and Aria go through tough times because of the age difference, which causes a lot of conflicts. And that's what this drama is all about. Conflicts and pretty people. Pretty Little Liars is the name of the show on ABC Family that airs every Tuesday at 8, 7 Central. Please welcome to the show, Ian Harding. How you doing today, Ian?
Hi, how you doing?
Why do you think people love Ezra and Aria's relationship?
You know, it gets a little bit more adult, but in how it's done is a bit different than I think viewers are going to expect. I know we've shot some scenes where Lucy and I have been very comfortable with each other, but ultimately I don't think it's going to be as racy as some might expect, but it's still going to have, the ante is going to be upped, to say the least.
Could you speak a little bit about how things are different for you to shoot when you're filming a scene with just you and Lucy versus you and the whole cast?
It's, Lucy and I have a comfort zone that it's a bit, it's otherworldly in the sense of we had to take a photograph. I won't say specifically for what, but there was something where we basically had to be affectionate, and it's gotten to the point where, I remember when we first started shooting, we were going to do a makeout scene. We were literally brushing our teeth beforehand and flossing and chewing all kinds of gum, and now we're lucky if the other person has brushed their teeth at all prior to makeout scene. So there's definitely a comfort level there that is pretty unique, and when it's the whole cast, it's just very professional. We're actually shooting, but in between takes, it's pretty goofy.
Has there been any change in the atmosphere on the set going into this highly anticipated new season?
Not too much. I mean, I think everybody's really excited to be there, and is really gung-ho and enthusiastic, and really just works their butt off. But I think everybody's just happy to be there. It's a very relaxed set, and judging from people who've done this for a while, they're kind of the elders, if you will, of the whole production. They said that this is one of the most relaxed, fun, happy sets to be on. So I think we're just continuing on that path for season 2.
Could you tell us a little bit about a time in your life when, like Ezra, you were attracted to somebody that you couldn't have?
Oh, I mean, I feel like everybody goes through that in their life, and I definitely, there was a moment when I got out here to Los Angeles, and I was newly single, and I thought this one person was just amazing, and she was also an actress, and I know that she was kind of in a relationship at the time, and I was like, oh no, this is so wrong, and then once I finally got to know the person, I realized that it was not who I thought they were. But yeah, I think that's honestly the worst kind of love affection that I've had recently.
WDW Tiki Room, the show about all things Disney on Sorcerer Radio. We're here talking to Pretty Little Liars star Ian Harding, who plays the role of Ezra on Pretty Little Liars. You can find that ABC Family Tuesdays at 8, 7 Central. Do you have a particular TV show that you would like to talk about? Maybe a guilty pleasure, perhaps?
I haven't watched it recently, but a few months ago I got into the show Bully Beatdown, which I just thought was some of my friend at home said, you gotta watch the show, it's fantastic. I'm like, oh, this sounds so stupid, and blah, 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 blah. But it's basically this bully gets beat up by a professional MMA fighter, and, the people that he bullies are sitting there watching it happen, and as sick as it is, you can't really turn away. So that has been my most recent guilty pleasure.
So what has been your favorite scene or, say, an episode that you really liked that you shot, and why is that?
I always, whenever it's usually a big scene, the last episode where, I left Rosewood was a lot of fun to shoot because it was with all the girls, and they would try and distract me, and I would try and distract them, and it was just quite because it was so heartfelt and everything. We made light of it in between takes by ridiculing each other.
Do you happen to read as much as Ezra does? And what are some of your favorite books?
I do read a lot. He reads a bunch of random stuff, like all around his apartment. He'll have something like, the economy of 1923 England, which like I would never read in my life. But I do read quite a bit, and I just finished a few books. I finished this book called Tinkers. There was a Pulitzer Prize winner. I'm going to start reading Just Kids by Patti Smith sometime soon, and I'm all over the place. I'm something that piques my interest. I'll read it, and I get up and I have to read every day because if not, my mind just goes to mush.
How do you pass the time when you're not on the set?
I try to cook. I mean, I have a bunch of little hobbies. I do the usual. I read, I hang out with friends, I see movies. I love movies, so I do a lot of that. Excuse me. Learning to cook is very interesting / dangerous. So that's something that I do. I'm also trying to pick up where I left off in the German language, because at one point I knew it and now I've forgotten it. So I just keep busy in between shooting and auditions and press junkets. But just kind of simple things.
Now, when you started on Pretty Little Liars, did you expect it to be as big of a hit as it has been?
I knew that it would. I knew that it would do well only because. Well, actually, no. I mean, I guess you don't even know that. I knew that it had a built-in fan base, so the probability of it being a hit was higher than usual. But I didn't know that it would be this kind of sensation that it is and get the ratings that it does and be as big as it is abroad. When last summer I was in Europe and I got recognized in every city that I went to, which is something that I would never expect with this. So it's pretty surreal, and I'm kind of happy with the level that it's at right now.
If you could give Ezra a piece of advice, what would it be?
Oh man, I would give him a whole book of advice. Can that be my one piece of advice? I would just say follow your heart, which sounds so cliche, but it is cliche, but. Because he overthinks things and gets really neurotic about things, and as a result, that can sometimes make him act out in weird ways and put unwanted strain on the relationship. And it's he's already in it. He already loves this girl, so just go for it. Now,
I know some of your actor friends in the show watch the episodes when they air. What do you find are your reactions when you see the whole episode on TV?
I like watching. I don't like watching myself per se, because I'm very critical of what I do, and I just feel like I can see through me. But I do think showing support to the writers and the other cast members, looking at their work and being able to discuss it later, or coming in and saying to a director hey, I thought that was really great, or wow, I didn't think the scene was going to turn out that way. I mean, I think it's, especially for somebody who's just kind of starting out like me, I think it's important to watch your work, not in a critical or in an overly praiseful, I think I should make that word up, praiseful kind of way, but just to look at it for what it is and be able to, view your work as kind of a objective piece of art. I think that's probably the best thing to do.
If you were not an actor, what would you be?
That's a good question.
I'd probably be dead. No, I don't know. Psychology and helping people has always been an interest of sorts. I love, I don't want to say therapy, but I love, psychology and all that. So maybe a psychiatrist, but I don't know if I have the patience to keep going in every day for years on end for somebody to figure out one thing about themselves. So I don't know what I'd be doing. Probably manual labor.
Now, outside of Pretty Little Liars, do you have any kind of upcoming projects you can talk about?
I have, we shoot clear through to December, and, I've been auditioning and doing other things and kind of, getting ready for the hiatus and anything that may come, that way. But on the horizon, I'm just kind of auditioning and still putting my face out here in Los Angeles because, in the grand scheme of things, I'm very new. This was the first pilot that I auditioned for. So, I show up to a casting director's office and I'll be in a room with people that I recognize. All of them are, young established actors, and I'm kind of, I wouldn't say green, but I'm simply new. So, there are definitely things on the horizon. There have been a few close calls that have happened in the past few months. But right now I'm just kind of doing the daily grind and loving it.
How did you feel when you saw that your name was trending on Twitter over the last few weeks? I know that a lot of those ABC Family stars happen to be trending very hotly on Twitter.
Wow, yeah. I had no idea what that meant. My sister told me that, hey, you're trending on Twitter, and I said, oh, that's cool. Are you coming over later? Like, it didn't register with me, and then once I realized that, oh, this is something that's worldwide, like, wow, that's really crazy. I felt really blessed, and it's good that, I think Twitter has really affected this show, and it's really helped with popularity. So, if I'm somehow a part of that, then great.
WDW Tiki Room, the show about all things Disney on Sorcerer Radio. We're here talking to Pretty Little Liars star Ian Harding. You can find that ABC Family Tuesdays at 8, 7 Central.
You had mentioned that you like to cook, and that is one of my favorite things to do. I love food, and I was wondering if you have a favorite dish that you like to make.
Oh, man. Oh, I hate this question. Because, there are many things that I like to cook. I suppose baking is not the same as cooking, but kind of. I'm able to make like a really good shortbread that was pretty amazing recently. What else did I do recently? Oh man, I made this amazing like kind of raw beet and pear salad with mint and all this other stuff. And I haven't been cooking a lot of meat recently, but I used to a long time ago. I could make this mean standing rib roast that was practically just Jell-O. I mean, actually, that sounds kind of nasty, but it was like so tender that it was, like you could eat it with a spoon. So there are several that I've made that are, I would say, my choice recipes.
If there was someone you'd like to work with, perhaps a guest star on the show, who would you like to bring in?
Oh, I always like that question.
I'm a big fan of like, right now, Carrie Mulligan or Marion Cotillard, or like loving them a ton. I just saw Beginners with Christopher Plummer and Ewan McGregor, and I would love for them to come on the show, but I don't think that's going to pan out. So somebody maybe a bit more realistic, like, I don't know, somebody from Modern Family, that'd be great. Jesse Tyler Ferguson is hysterical. I'd love for him to, have like a walk-on scene stealing moment in Pretty Little Liars.
Well, it's been great having you once again. Ian Harding from Pretty Little Liars. Check out the show every single week, Tuesdays at 8, 7 Central on ABC Family. Thanks again for joining us today, Ian.
Thank you.